everyone, my name is LaWanda May. I'm the Executive Director at Hyde Park School of Dance. In March of this year, the world closed as we experienced a global pandemic. Hyde Park School of Dance addressed that need for our dancers to continue dancing by moving all of our classes virtual. We knew that we wanted to stage a Nutcracker. We just had to think about how we were going to do that this year. After the governor announced a stay-at-home order right before Thanksgiving, Hyde Park School of Dance had to regroup. We were no longer able to perform on stage as we were hoping, but we refused to let that impact the production. So Hyde Park School of Dance transformed our largest studio into a black box, and making sure that we kept the safety of all of our dancers at the forefront. We allowed each dancer, over 50 dancers, to perform individually their respective dances. Unfortunately, we were not able to have all 200 plus dancers participate that we would have in a normal Nutcracker year. This year we are scaled down to our youth companies, which includes about 55 dancers, and then we welcomed some of our younger dancers. The family support that we've received has been wonderful. In some cases, families have even decided to pod together to allow their dancers to either take classes together or perform together, which you will see in this year's Nutcracker. The faculty did a great job because they had to reimagine their dances to limit contact between each dancers and making sure they stayed in their spaces, and of course the dancers dancing in masks. We had costumes that needed to be fitted on our dancers. We had dances that needed to be learned, and we also were exploring other opportunities for additional dancers to take part, including our younger dancers in the Soldier and Mouse Corps that you will see on Zoom.
Finding people who have quarantined together to perform in your Nutcracker can be challenging. I remember August calling me and asking me if my family and I would like to perform in the party scene of the Nutcracker. My initial thought was, no way. Instead I said, sure, and I'm glad I did. Filming with my family was exciting, fun, and brought them into my world of dance. I loved every moment of it. And I can now say with 100% certainty that I am a dance mom. Scarlett was perfect.
Hi, my name is Amanda Castle. So I've been dancing at the Hyde Park School of Dance since I was 3 years old. And ever since I was little, my dream role was to be the lead Marlaton in the Nutcracker. And this year I got to do it. It was a dream come true. I mean, having my senior role as lead Marlaton, getting to put on the beautiful sparkly tutu, dance with the flute, all of that was a dream come true. I certainly didn't expect to be dancing in a mask or not dancing at Mandel Hall in front of an audience, but having the opportunity to still have a Nutcracker, even with these extraordinarily difficult circumstances, was really amazing, and I'm really grateful. The artistic directors and the board and the faculty all went all out for this Nutcracker. They really gave the seniors an opportunity to say goodbye, at least partially the way we thought we were going to. And I think that's really, really incredible. I can definitely remember having that excitement about getting to be a part of the Nutcracker and getting to work with kids this year who were just as excited about being a part of the Nutcracker, even if it was from home and making their own mouse costumes, was really fantastic. So, teaching during the pandemic has definitely been a challenge, but when I am teaching, it is consistently the highlight of my week. I was the teacher for the baby mice, and getting to work with them when the baby mice were focused and they were excited and they were ready to go was just really delightful. I mean, it was a great reminder of how much there is to be positive about right now.
Backwards baby runs. Oh, we run. And then we make one mouse statue. And then we make another mouse statue. And then we put our feet in our first. And we go, Tanu, statue.
Doing virtual classes was pretty crazy because we had to get ready and we had to get everything prepared for the Zoom call. My favorite thing would probably be the fact that we still got to hang out and socialize with our friends even if we were still being social distanced. It was pretty hard, but it was still pretty fun. Since we had someone new come in here, it's definitely been different because her name was Hannah Lou, and she came to teach us a specific dance that represented her culture, and I feel like that it was a great dance and it fit the Chinese dance well.
Well, one of the upsides of working in this situation of a pandemic and Nutcracker at the same time is due to social distancing and rehearsal limitations, we got to try a lot of new things, and basically we had to re-choreograph most of the show. I, for one, have never choreographed the Chinese variation as a solo, and I was super excited to get the opportunity to do that this year. We had to figure out how to stay in those nice socially distanced boxes for most of our work and still make it interesting, and a lot of the choreographers were really surprised that they were able to make beautiful work staying in those boxes.
My 13th year choreographing Waltz of the Flowers for Hyde Park School of Dance. As a choreographer, it can be challenging to come up with new and fresh movement for a piece of music that you've been using for 13 years. So I decided early on to use this as an opportunity to reimagine this work. I was immediately impressed by the flexibility of my dancers. They didn't flinch when I talked about dancing in boxes, staying 6 feet apart, limited entrances and exits, and my personal favorite, wearing a mask while dancing an 8-minute ballet. I had half of my dancers at home using Zoom and half of my dancers in the studio with me. We knew that we would all not be together until we met on stage for the filming. Instead, we used our imaginations. We imagined dancers that were not physically there. The dancers on Zoom had to watch rehearsal and flip the choreography around in their heads so they would be ready for their chance in the studio. Then we got the news that the theater had closed and we would be filming each dancer individually in the studio. I immediately panicked. I had choreographed this intricate corps de ballet. How was the videographer possibly going to put this all back together again? However, my dancers did not. I had a 1-hour conversation with them about being soloists and corps dancers all at the same time. And then came the day when they came to the studio to film. I was blown away by how beautifully it came together.
I really do